Yeah. Are you come back? How's your coffee and tea? I received delicious coffee, tea. And I want to say again, from my deep heart, thank you, because you analyze to check real situation of the low realms, and not to kind of follow the someone say this and that. Of course, sometimes it's very difficult. When everything is going very well, we haven't got much our own self is suffering or negative no situations, and then it's very difficult to understand others' situation. But now, according to your compassion, kindness, and your wisdoms, you really to explore or you checked in the low realms, and now you understand the situation of the low realms, the realm of the hell, hungry ghosts, animal realms. And before we stopped, we says, and okay, we are not in the low realms. We are the human beings, and we are in the human realms. And also, according to the teaching of the Buddha, we call the superior realms. Like start human realm, and then is demigod or god realms. There are three superior realms. Now we are traveling into our land, human realms. Humans has defects of the samsara. The title is called the Four Doubt, the suffering of the human realms. And the human realms, human suffering from the three fundamental types of the sufferings. The fundamental types of the sufferings. And also from the four great streams of suffering. What are they? They are birth, old age, sickness, and death. And fundamentally, there are type of the sufferings, three fundamental type of suffering. The three, what is three? That is three later, maybe each one is coming. Like they say, the sufferings of suffering, and suffering of the changing, suffering of like permeated kind of, like kind of the suffering of the permeate. Here is talking about four great streams of the sufferings. They are like kind of suffering of the birth, suffering of the old age, suffering of the sickness, and the suffering of the death. Those are our defects, like our problems. And particularly those four great streams of the sufferings, how we can to avoid, very difficult. And the top of there is some different type of the, of course, sufferings. Other human sufferings are the dread of the meeting hated enemies, or of the losing loved ones. When we are someone's not really happy, we have a little bit kind of the anger or hesitated. If someone's to meet, But this person's all the time in front of us, often and often, like hated. Maybe, of course, if you are absolute enemies, there's like kind of wherever you are coming across, this person's or the being is there. And this is also kind of the sufferings. Maybe sometimes it says we don't want to meet to them or those. But it's very easily to see, easily to like kind of the account. Of course, sometimes losing loved ones. Yes, that is true. And unexpectedly, maybe your ones become angry, they run from you. Or maybe some attack by the sickness. Look this year, how much we lost according to the coronavirus. And this kind of the, how do you say, unexpect, and also we don't want. And as much as we can to stay in this life with our loved one, that we want, but certainly lost, like unbelievable way. And there is like you can in the YouTube, there's one guy, he accidented. He died and his wife just came and she said, I don't believed. I don't believed, she said. And he has some, I think one maybe, daughter. She often says, when is dad come back? When is dad come back? And mother says, please, can you stop? Then she said, why? I want to see my dad. And she is more crying. And this lost one never come back in this life. This kind of sometimes certainly happened. It's losing the loved ones. And it's like difficult. That is the defects of our in the realms. And the suffering of the not getting that one want. And it's like kind of maybe sickness, maybe become ugly, maybe something happened. This thing is kind of we don't want, but it sometimes kind of happened. Of course, encountering that one does not want, we don't want. This sort of many different type of but principally in our human realms, 3 type of the fundamental sufferings, and 4 great stream of the sufferings of that is the principle. Of course, there's more if we can to detail, we have suffering, that's sure. But this is very easily, because we are now human, we can to research other, or even ourselves we can to research. And then we can to, how to say, we can, how it is humans' life. The first is like the 3 fundamental types of the sufferings. The first one is called the suffering of the change. Suffering of the change. What does it, the change? That means it's like maybe today, maybe someone's very happy, certainly upside down. Like as I just taught these situations, one is like great families, like a couple, young, everything's fantastic, but certainly husband is car accident, they changed, become a very much uncomfortable situations. Same way as the suffering of the change is the suffering that we felt when a state of the happiness suddenly changed into suffering. Like I'm just to talk to you, these couples, like this. And it's also there's many kind of this certainly to changed. And for example, for instance, One moment we feel fine, satisfied, and full after a good meal. We say, wow, so delicious. I'm really sufficient. You are really feeling nice. And then suddenly we are racked by the violent spasm because of parasite in our stomach. Is this food? It's something. It's like slowly against it. Some in the bacteria in the stomach disintegrate and kind of disagreement, and certainly stomach is big problems. Of course, someone is a die. First moment, you enjoyed nurturing, tasty food, and very much you are satisfied, appreciate. Certainly, food is become the kind of the poison and violent with bacteria in the stomach, and then it's like kind of the parasite in our stomach, means it's like kind of stomach is ache. And sometimes it's everything need to leave. We need to go in the next life. And this is like the suffering of the changing. One moment we are very happy, like this food, delicious. But one moment changed. And the next moment on, like enemy, plunge our wealth, or it's like change, next moment. Of course, there is like a kind of another examples. For instance, enemy plundered our wealth. Of course, this kind of happened. This day is okay. Our world, human realms become more small, more protection, more peace. Ancient times, like attacking village to village, families to families, and the state to state. And like kind of we can look, even the small, some countries, some village attacking another village. They kill all the men, ladies, children to burn, take everything. Suddenly one moment, they kind of the plunders their wealth. And sometimes our livestock. And for example, it's like wealth or livestock. In Europe, there's not much this kind of. But in America, you call the cow, there's cowboys. In Tibet, we have the yak boys. They're robber, burglar. Like kind of go to in the nomad, they take hundreds nomads, like kind of livestock. And completely their families making poor. And certainly they have hundreds cattle, livestock. They certainly, those enemies they took, they become poor. That is the changing of the sufferings. Or the fire burned down our house. That's obvious. These days many happened. We see obviously. It's how we can to avoid. We all the times have the fire insurance. Put everywhere fire alarms. It's happened. We are certainly like a kind of the stricken by the sickness, like these years, this virus. Everybody is like going very well. And look in China's economic, financial grow up very fast. Certainly this and stricken by the virus, sickness. And then is the evil influence. this kind of the untalkable virus, no vaccine, thousands and thousands of human beings died. And this kind of happened. And in the human hour realms, we cannot say, oh, never happened like this. We are happy. Also, it's very difficult to say. We are still under this kind of the sufferings. Or we are to receive some terrible news. You know, sometimes we are like kind of joking, making happy. Certainly some news happened. Everybody is become the terrible situations. And certain news. And like this, once is like immediately like this kind of, some is like negative news. That means enemies plundered wealth, or they took all our livestock, or certainly some fire burned the house, or we can to say it's like some is stricken by some sickness, lost some our love, like same as this couple. She's waiting in the evening. Certainly bad, immediately news came. Say, I think it's your husband is accidental, dead. Of course, you never expect that. This kind of, like kind of plunge into the sufferings. And as happened, this is the human, the problems. That's for indeed, whatever this apparent comfort, it looks like in the how the human realms, there are like some apparent comfort. Looks like, seemingly. This is kind of the hallucination comfort, dream comfort, mirage comfort. One moment there, one moment it's disappeared. This kind of apparent comfort, happiness, are preceded, is to be found here in the samsara. And this is like kind of like well-known or famous, rich, and looks like, seems, apparent comfort. Everything is like here in the samsara, uncertainty, and like a dream. It lack the tiny scrap of consistency or the stability. Nothing there is permanent, nothing can do stability of the strong. Like same as someone's suffering, but maybe it's change. Someone's happy, it's change. That is like kind of the changing process there. Everything is like unpredictable. Everything is like changing. There's nothing kind of stabilities. In the long run, can never resist the round of the sufferings. And kind of the again and again resist the round of the sufferings. There's nothing kind of slight stability, like kind of the permanent, something is a comfort, happy, procedures. Therefore, cultivate disentanglement with it all. This enhancement. This enhancement need to be a little bit sad. It's like when we look at our situation, it's naturally kind of the sadness there is. For example, if you run to collect something to you build, shuttle. You built a fantastic, your shutter. Looks like palace. Then we put hope. Oh, I want to stay here forever. Very funny. What do you mean forever? It's not forever. Maybe until you die to stay there. And maybe it's like you died, who is become the new owner? Not forever to you. Your death, our deaths, maybe you can to stay there few days. Who knows? Few months, few years. If you go to, once I was in the St. Petersburg, it's the most last Russian Tsar, King Royal. He produced their palace. And historically, they said he built this one 15 years. He used under his people how much voluntarily they helped to this. And finally, he succeeded. He created wonderful room for his sons, so on. Finally, he think he want to stay there forever. Then I heard until he died, he stayed there. He said, no, I think they enter into their palace to stay there 5 years. What happened? Killed, destroyed. Nothing. Then, therefore, for example, today we are built. What the batteries stay there, no problem. You want to change? Can you hear? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes. It's like that tiny set scrap of the consistency or the stability, no existence, human apparent comfort, happiness, prestigious, so on. Long run can never resist the fount of the sufferings. Therefore, we need a little bit cultivate sad. We call the renunciation. And this kind of the human happiness. Then what we need to do? Okay. Whatever we have shelter, food, conditions, to be happy. Today everything is good. I need to be happy. I need to practice Dharma. This comfort, this happiness, this like that's prestigious or prestigious, or the kind of the good things, it's not forever. It's like kind of in the morning foggy, in the morning frost, each moment, or American English, moment, it's disappeared. We don't know. You should concern. Why I need to concern? because everything is impermanent. And everything there is kind of the momentary nature. There's nothing kind of the stability things. That is the obvious. One is to make a little sadness. Maybe you have more idea to practice Dharma. You are more interested in your liberation state. Maybe you're more concerned about your liberation path. Maybe I want to say, you have beautiful family. You think they are the forever. No, take care. There's a separation. Maybe you have beautiful electronic gadgets. Maybe you think this is forever. No, it is easily to broken. Maybe you think you have a very nice high position. You think forever. No, tomorrow is upside down. Who knows? And maybe you have a lot of things, belongings. It's maybe you are the owner of the most in this world. But also that is the not stable, not reliable. Who knows tomorrow? You become the most poor in this country, this world. And therefore, look in the present moment, situations, whatever you have. This moment, if some food to make the feel of your stomach, there is something to drink coffee or soft drink, and your body is not caught. That is satisfied. Thanks. Tomorrow is to be good things, maybe generate bodhicitta, massage your wisdom, and to understand these situations. You know, generally, if you practice Dharma, if there is something, any kind of the three type of the fundamental sufferings struck or plunge to you, you'll never be sufferings because you understand impermanent. You understand that there's nothing existence, any kind of stabilities. Yeah, that is the impermanent. This is the nature of the samsara. And you will be like this. Maybe you be with your comfort, happiness, families, everything. In this moment, you should to make happy. I think so. We need to make happy. It is nice. Today is ugly, fainting, dissatisfaction, scream, and running around, restless way, expecting tomorrow I will become the happy set. If there's no tomorrow, then when? Tomorrow we gone, whatever we done today is become the useless. Absolutely. And therefore, tomorrow we need to benefit realization, compassion, preparation of the positive things. Also, we can to prepare the tomorrow. This is so obvious. Which kind of? Even we can to logically. Okay, today, tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I will go. What I need to prepare? Of course, best is a virtue. Like you do 10 positive actions, fantastic. Maybe tomorrow's you will be okay, no problem. Of course, if these causalities immediately happen to you, but maybe today you do positive things, difficult to ripen tomorrow. But tomorrow is a short near our futures. What we need to tomorrow? To take example in this yesterday. Which kind of example? Yesterday I need breakfast, lunch, dinner. Oh, yesterday I did like this. According to time is morning, what I need. Midday, and what I need. Evening, what I need. Before sleep, what I need. Okay, these things are necessary. I need today, but today I have enough. But tomorrow, the same as yesterday. Everything's yesterday necessary things to prepare it, and then tomorrow is if come. if appeared in this kind of our situation, for the current appearances, coming tomorrow, it will come, or it comes. No problem. You prepared. You have toothbrush. You can to wash nicely your mouth. You prepared your breakfast. You will eat delicious way. You prepare lunch, dinner, absolutely, because you prepared today. Today we have everything because you prepared the yesterday. This is logically, obviously, it's really directly. But indirectly, life, past life situation in the present situation. Present preparing to the next life. Guru Rinpoche in Pema Sambhavi said, if someone's curiosities to understand which kind of in the past life, you should to look in this present situation. Then you can to see, understand. In the future, what can happen, you will be. You need to look at the present, your situation, your action. According to your action in the futures, your situation will become like this. And therefore, a little bit to be dissentiment or disentanglement or the sadness is support to us in order to make some good accomplishment. And then it's like next the type of the fundamental sufferings. It's called the suffering, open the sufferings. One suffering is not disappeared, but a second suffering is occurring. For instance, we experience suffering, open suffering, when before one suffering is over, not finished, we are subject to another suffering is coming. We get leprosy. Leprosy is a bad sickness. You lose your nose, fingers, everything. This suffering is not over yet. The top of that, break out the boils. Boils means it is in the thyroid, in the connection of the stomach and the thyroid. There is a special machine this size. And to make the warmth in here is never to getting better. Bigger and bigger is become like stone. And then it's these days operations, but sometimes operation is a very sensitive organ. They die. Like this, sufferings means suffering, open the sufferings. Someone's get the leprosy, but top of that, also sickness of the boiled. This kind of true has happened. And someone is then, as well as the breaking out in boil, they are not over this sickness. They get injured. Maybe broke leg, broke arm, broke nose, even the broke ear. Oh, really? Ear's broken? It's possible. Yeah, maybe, yes. And like this, also it's like someone's lost the father, dies, and same time it's maybe also it's like some problems, the mother dies soon, afterward. That is the suffering, open the sufferings. We are pursued by the enemies, and on the top of that, and the loved ones died. It's many happened situations, like kind of the pursuit by the enemies, plundered all the wealth and life stocks, and top of that, some also families died. So forth means there's this type of the suffering, open the sufferings, many different type. You can to say that many, of course. And we need to check out, it is a truth or not truth. Don't need to say, this is religious. Maybe it's those lamas to make effort to us in order to have faith, devotion, to follow them. Maybe some lamas, maybe I don't know. But I don't have much to expect you follow me or not. I'm very sorry to say. But if you analyze these things, maybe benefit for you. You are happy. You analyze or not analyze. You check out or not check out. This is obvious situations. Do you understand? I'm living in the French part. And you know there's a lot of lies. And also we speak English some. And also it's a very good, everybody is here, very good. No problem. This is my English accent. My French is excellent. They give me, degrees 0. But it's okay. And I speak perfect French. When I communicate, I need my hand. Like this. There's no word. It's become the mood. This is French language? I don't know. Okay, anyway, this kind of, we need to research. What is the benefit if you discovered that? You be happy in the present moment. You enjoyed whatever you have had in the present moment, whatever you have. Your family, your position, and you're comfortable, your food, even your toilet. Oh, sorry. House, whatever your conditions. And I looked one documentary, one guy, he lived in the forest, a little bit in the Rocky Mountain. He made a very small shuttle in the earth. It's very, very small. Very small. But he's very happy. And he's not much food, some nuts, fruits. He don't need any fridge. He don't need any other kind of other things. Of course, he need just electrics. Very simple, but he's very, very happy. He has per month $300 salaries. 100, no, 50, or no, 30 or 50 something. Electricity, some he spent. 100 something. 100 food is enough. Become very famous. He came to in the television. And they said, "Are you happy?" "Yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very much satisfied whatever I have. I have enough food, okay, money. And also shelter is, I like, and be there, very small, but no problem. Me more than that, what I need. Very happy." Then there is the opposite. Very rich guy. trillions money. And 10 countries has 10 buildings preparing for myself, for my children. They can go to holiday, this is this. Summer go to this country, this. Building is like big building, maybe 5-10 floors. First, wife, second him, third, maybe children, fourth is maybe guest, or I counted from up to down, or maybe it's Lord, like this. I saw, but never happy. Very much all the time distressed, anxiety, agony. And someone says, interviews, are you happy? Yeah, happy. But my family is not very much caring our belongings. I'm very much worried. Still, maybe if we don't care, we become the poor. Oh, really? And it's like kind of the every day is worried, running around, shouting to the families. And also it's like not very much generosity, not very much kindness to each other, not very much happy. And the present situation is the leisure or these comfortable things never give satisfaction or contentment. Full of the dissatisfaction, complaint, unhappiness. Like this is sometimes is a humans is inconceivable. That perspective, if you analyze, you practice Dharma, it's automatically happiness arise into your mind. You can do very great generosities to your family, to your friend, to societies. You can to make happy, taking care of your family, taking care. You enjoyed whatever you have in the current situation. Wonderful. No matter where we are, the reborn in the samsara, there's nothing kind of the stability things or the substantially existent things. Everything is, nature is impermanent. Which things we can to get the permanent things. Our time is spent in one suffering on the top of the another. That is the like in the suffering upon the sufferings. Without any chance of moment is a happiness. Very difficult. We say something is like excitement. It makes me happy. It's finished. That is the really happiness. We are chasing pleasures, entertainment, and put a lot of effort. Finally, something is like excitement happened. It's one moment disappeared. When we want again, we disappeared. When we want again, disappeared. Sadness, yes? And like this is we call the suffering, open the sufferings. Now it is the like kind of the three type of fundamental sufferings. The third is the suffering of everything composite, composite or composite, compounded. Anything is compounded, it's contaminated. That is we call the constructed by the different aggregations, different things. That is the very much changeable, easily demolished, easily to parachute or parachute. Parachute, okay, doesn't matter. Now someone else might think that things are going quite well for us at the moment. And we do not seem to be suffering much. In fact, that is the most important word. In fact, we are totally immersed in the cause of the sufferings. Absolutely. Like kind of birth, the cause of the old age, death. Old age, cause of the death. Death is the cause of the birth. And there is like kind of the day, night, but it's night is coming. Night is maybe comfortable bed, want more sleep, morning wake up, day. But whatever, like something is like cycles, movement. And also it's like, McKenty says, when we are killing, doing something excited things. But reality is the really immersed or like kind of the extremely the cause of the sufferings. I met one guy in China. He every day coming to in the huge big restaurant. And he killing 1,000, 2,000 fish every day. Prepare for the restaurant. Then he go back. In the evening, he's enjoy the families kind of eating. I got jobs. And I said, are you happy? Yes, I'm very happy. Instead killing. But this is really the cause of the happiness. This kind of actions actually is the cause of the finally is sufferings. Really is just immersed. Only, I used only. I don't use immersed. I used only in the cause of the sufferings. Only in the cause of the sufferings. Seems, looks like, apparently doing something like happiness, but reality only in the cause of the sufferings. For our very good and clothing, or our homes, our adornments, and the celebration that give us pleasure are all product with harmful actions. Yeah, that things. When we are really reality to receive the very delicious food, maybe it's one day during this collect food, a lot of negative things. For instance, meal. When you are like kind of the very expensive clothes you're wearing, maybe like silk, cashmere's. How much expensive? We think nice, but where is the come from? When you are like making the silk is producer or the companies. Trillions insect they like toast and cooked into the hot water. They kill and then they take out the silks. Kashmiri, how much goats they be suffered. They never cut the hair. They take out by some strange machines. And when we are wearing comfortable sleep bag, jacket, inside a lot of birds' feather, how much birds are suffering. And this kind of, even the food, cloth, of course it's a building, house, everything is constructed. It's like comes from the harmful actions. Adornment, ornament. You have a pearl necklace, leopard skins jacket, sea animals necklace, or the, how do you call it, scarf. And like this kind of, everything is kind of give pleasure, but reality is produced by the harmful actions. Obvious. As everything we do is just concoction of negative actions. It's like just connection of the negative actions, corresponding negative actions, only lead to our sufferings. Therefore, Dharma practitioners, very simple. Look at the Dzogchen Rinpoche. Look at the holiness. They're wearing very simple clothes. They never change again. Even myself, I try kind of the follow up the Dharma. Say, horrible person. Every day need to buy clothes. A little bit become old, get rid. All the times need news, different. And like this, even the food, complain, I need this and that. And house, all these things. Doing is everything's connected to the negative actions. Of course, everything's negative actions make the cause of suffering or lead of the sufferings. And we need to think a little bit that how much we are kind of creating the sufferings. Now here is talking about more Tibetan history. As for example, consider tea and tsambasit. Maybe looks like a white food, not maybe connected to the negative actions. It's, of course, sometimes we say, I don't eat meat. I'm a very much pure person, very arrogant, and like kind of proud. But I'm very sorry. Are you drinking tea? Are you eating tsamba or other food? Also, you should to concern me. Say, look, the only thing about tea, where tea is grown in China or India or Nepal, different countries, the number of the small creatures that are killed while it is the planet, absolutely very difficult to grow up. Even the near our, like a field, in order to grow up, maybe corn, maybe wheat, maybe barley. Before to dig up ground, how much the farmers killed insect. Inconceivable, we can receive more explanations. Plant. Why the leaves are being picked up? Tree leaves, how much killed beings, how much suffering the workers, and so on, so on, so on, so on, so on. Would it be impossible to count how much we killed insects? Difficult to count. Then even we drink tea, also it's not really, it's like same as the meat. The tea is then carried as far as that's in Tandusit, the name of the place. Some of you have been there. Just after this Tonton Jaro's iron bridge, very strange city. That is the border of the Tibetan and Chinese. And by the ported ancient times, Chinese workers were very, very tough, very strong, but they haven't got much transporters of the animals, donkeys, mules, horse. They all the time is ported by humans. Each porter carried a load of the 12 6 bricks packs that you can to calculate the now this kilos. One person's carrying the 120 kgs. That is the 12 6 brick packs, means each packs has 10 kg. Then this one is like kind of, there is in the box, they carry the 12 like box. They back to kind of the build, and then they carry. And these days, if we can to count, that is like a 120 kg need to carry us. I think as time is not existent, time is running. My organization is coming to the near the machine. That means is he going to ask some questions. How many questions? Okay, then we are to stop there, okay? Now start the question. This is 12 o'clock, and I'm talkative. Today is we stop taking the high and the band around is forehead. Okay, there is. Now is the question times. Thanks your questions. I will eat cheese.
Thank you. I'm starting with Leah from Belgium, who sent one question yesterday. Should I read this question, which was yesterday?
Okay, can you say?
She wrote, I read several times the prayer that you suggest to memorize, and I'm wondering if this virus crisis was sent to make us change our attitude and have a better human responsibility regarding climate change, so that we can benefit all beings who share this earth with us. In this case, is it not better to have a prayer to purify our souls?
Our souls.
Our souls.
Soul.
Souls.
Consciousness.
And today, what I want to say is that we harmed other beings in all kinds of ways. We have acted against life and also against our own lives. Therefore, is it not normal that we have a negative result, coronavirus, that is harming us on many levels? If there is a hell for some people, we can also experience bad results such as natural disasters, pandemics, etc. still when we are alive. What does Buddhism say about these phenomena?
I think your question is not really question. You are giving teaching. Explain. Wonderful explanations. What I need to give you answer. Buddhist perspective, this kind of happened, as you say. And then what we need to change. Change into the compassion way, kindness way, and to concern to the others' benefit. And to concern others' benefit through the body movement, verb, recite the mantras, prayers, mentally generate bodhicitta, sincerely from the deep heart to generate compassion. Maybe everybody is receive happiness. Everybody can make a peace in this world. Maybe. As you also, there's a nice explanation. Thank you.
Thank you. Rusiko from Georgia says, in our relative reality, there are whole spheres of industry like food, clothes, agriculture, and so on, that uses bodies of animals. In agriculture, they use special chemicals that kill insects, mice, and so on. This karmic link connects absolutely everyone, those who produce it and those who buy it. Is it possible to disconnect this karmic circle? If not, then in the future, and what should we do for it? Best regards.
Good questions, Rusko. And yes, for example, someone's running like this. Maybe someone's do not understand situation of the animals. Sometimes it's very difficult to avoid. It is also true. And like someone says, like if you don't do that, where we can to get food, where we can to get the clothes. Everybody is become the Dharma practitioners. It's very complicated, and also it's impossible. But for now, maybe someone's doing like this, maybe someone's not. Maybe, for example, our perspective, we understood these situations. Maybe our families doing that for us, producing food, producing clothes, but they don't concern you. But we understood this kind of the evil actions, harming actions. But now we understood that we need to quickly to ourselves to change, to become quickly as soon as possible enlightenment. Even not, we need to create compassion, to do some positive things. And also it's like those families connect to us, they give food, they give clothes. And we need to repayment to them, to more connect to them, to help to them. And for example, same as, I met one in Italy long time ago, a guy. I was in the mountain with two ladies. One is Italy, one is others. And I wear monk clothes, and then it's like I'm going to one family's house. There's one guy's coming out. First time he saw me, shocked. Second time he ran to me and said, "Are you Buddhist?" Yes. "Oh, I saw in some television." And he said, "Can you come in my house?" I went. And then he give tea, talk. And then he said, "Thank you very much, you are so kind." And he gave me some 4 or 5 bottle of the Italy's wine, delicious. He said, "Please, can you think of me?" I said, Why you? I'm evil. Why? I have a lot of families. In order to survive my families, I'm against God. I'm going to definitively in the hell. This our culture is forever. Surely I'm suffering. Can you pray for me? He's very looks like almost tears coming like this. These situations, how we can compare right now? Maybe those doer of the field, and giving poison to the mouse and killing insect. They're preferring for food. They're preferring clothes to us. Okay, we understand, we are not doing, we understand this situation, then what we need to help to them? Quickly to take they kind of the killing negative things, to purify it, to quickly to practice Dharma, meaning of the generate compassion, and dedicate to them. We need to change. Maybe something in the future, such a benefit. Thank you.
Thank you. Agata from Poland asks, Dear Rinpoche, can I divide my daily Gunro practice into 2 sessions in connection with my professional work? In the morning to recite until Dorje Sempa mantra, and at the evening continuation to the end of the practice.
Yes, Agata. That's right. No problem.
Thank you. Hamako, Japan, says, this year, the oracle of His Holiness Nechung have sent message that in order to prevent spreading of coronavirus, it would be good to do practice of Mamo Trukong. So my question is about what can we do in our daily practice? Would it be enough to read prayer of Tontong Gyalpo you introduced to us in other day in order to perform offering and confession towards Mamos?
Today is your English. Okay, no problem. Whatever holiness to say is the truth. That is obvious, its benefit. Holiness says to recite the mantra of Tara Om Tari Tatari Tariso. Such a benefit, such. And also wonderful things. Holiness give teaching through the internet. He is quite old. Maybe is a little bit kind of physical, but he put effort. He giving empowerment, and he's like kind of to analyze. Of course, he's omniscient, but also he says, I may be stupid. Maybe I will ask Nishon. I don't know. I believe Nishon, or I need to believe the holiness. I would prepare believe the holiness. Nishon says good, but direct holiness to say something would fantastic. Thanks, holiness. And the Nishon said to need to practice Mamun Trukong. Mamun Trukong, Truk means it's confused. And like kind of turmoil has happened. Reality is, confusion is not externally. There's nothing existent of some spirit of the Mamo. Truk means our mind is confused. And we studied something, but we don't know exactly. And sometimes student confused, criticize the teacher. Teacher confused, criticize the student. And someone follow the dharmas, confused, finally criticized to the Buddhas. Oh, Buddha's no. Oh, Buddha's teachings are wrong. Oh, lamas are wrong. Oh, students are wrong. This is the truth, means it's confused each other. And then its turmoil is there. Criticize, hurting, And inner kind of the turmoil, in English, turmoil, is the same as the tuk. Disturbing emotions, extremely turmoil in our heart. That is the Mamotukum. It's externally something follow up the sadhana. I don't know how much the benefit. But really want to practice the Mamotukum, look at our own defects, look at our own turmoil and the negative to make the peace. We need to great session alcohol of the Buddha's teaching, Dharma, offering to your mamo of the mind, dissolved turmoil of the negative turmoil inside, hatred, jealousy, anger, disturbing emotions, difference. That's the best precept. And also it's like someone's created wonderful voice, or that you need to say something, like Tonton Jaros, Sashinedro. And the holiness says, recite the Taras mantra, many different prayers. Do it, such a benefit. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you. Another question from Japan, Emi Nakamoto.
Moto.
I will not abandon my path, but what can I do when I feel I am a little bit too relaxed to practice the Dharma seriously?
You can't relax. You abandon Dharma, you can. If you abandon your path of Dharma, which kind of you want to take your path? Entertainment, excitement, pleasure, alcohol, drug? What do you want to take path? For me, it's the beside of your path of the Dharma, nothing there is some fantastic. But of course, this is individual's responsibility. Why not to give up? If we need to say ourselves, I have sometimes maybe this kind of hesitation, same as you. Okay, why I'm practicing Dharma, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you can to give up Dharma, but what you want? You are on the path, unavoidable. This, you are be in the highway. There's a white highway, black highway. You cannot to avoid. This true path, you want to change sweet night or you want to ugly path. That depends on ourselves.
Thank you. Darya Guzheva, Dasha, asks, how do you think, is it okay to castrate domestic animals, for example cats, or is it a bad action? Do animals suffer because of it? Sometimes castration is necessary and difficult to avoid.
Can I cast you? Do you like? That's my answer.
Thank you. Irisha Sora asks,
Who's?
Irisha Sora, do plants have consciousness? They grow, develop, but do not possess consciousness? And bacteria, we are killing them each moment. So what should I do with that?
Pray, sending compassion, be kindness, confess. Then it's okay.
Thank you. Olga from Dharma City asks, Rinpoche-la, I'm not very clearly understand luminosity of mind. Could you please clarify? Thank you.
Did you eat strawberry? If you eat strawberry, then you can to understand the luminous. Don't worry.
Thank you.
That's all.
No? Sojo. Sojo has a question. He says, we say that Buddha has two types of knowledge. Knowledge of things as they are, and knowledge of things in their diversity. Which wisdom are they based on? Discriminative or primordial?
This is the quality of the primordial wisdoms. Primordial wisdom is the wisdom of the source of all others. Not only the true wisdoms. You say wisdom of substance, wisdom of the maniness. But they are the wisdom of the mirror, wisdom of the equanimity, wisdom of the wisdom of the there's so many wisdoms. Omniscient is the wisdom is everything because understand everything. But of course the source is the primordial wisdom. Yes.
Thank you. Regina asks.
Who's?
Regina?
Regina.
Rinpoche-la, Tashidile, Padmasambhava, and Che Trungkapa are one God, or are they different gods? Thank you so much.
Both are the human beings. They are God or not God, I don't know. But both is extraordinary human being, compassionate, kindness, and they are enlightened beings. And that's all. I don't know they are God or not.
Thank you. Elena Zurkina says, Rinpoche, my daughter Dasha asks, if people kill other people in war, when they protect their lives and the lives of their relatives, is it considered a bad action?
And the same as others. Others, they, in the battle, they killed others. Also, they have family. Also, they need to protect. Best is both sides, no need to kill each other.
Thank you. Anton says, tomorrow, His Holiness the Dalai Lama gives online Avalokiteshvara empowerment from Dharmasala. At beginning of the lectures, you spoke about online empowerments. Is it worth it to get it?
It is wonderful. Holiness is not the kind of the master, the Lama. Holiness is the real representative of the Buddha. He is a fully qualified teacher. Extreme, we can to look to see the direct in our own eye. If we can to the look, connect to go to the near to him, to talk direct, how it is. Inconceivable masters. He has these abilities. No problem. And he said that we can to receive. There's a sure. And also maybe he give this empowerment worldwidely through the internet. Whoever to see him, whoever hear to him, whoever perceive this one, maybe everybody we can to slowly to be liberated. This kind of existence during the Buddhas, even the individual liberations, normally you need to like the face to face. But during the Buddhas, someone wants to take individual liberation vow, become the disciple of Buddha. And then this take a vow is like kind of the writing letter, sending to persons receive the empowerment. The persons receive the vows. And therefore, I think it's through the internet. It's so wonderful. In the authentic practice, there is we call the seeing liberation, touching liberation, and also it's like kind of the testing liberations. There's like 6 liberations without the meditations. And holiness is the source of the liberation. Whoever, there's for millions, people wanted to touch him, wanted to see him. And like this, maybe it's the past, there's many holiness. There's something in Tibet, many the great masters. Of course, all of them, but this present, our holiness, is really, really extraordinary. Of course, someone can to criticize that, but that is the different. For example, like a kind of the, you can to say, and someone hasn't got this kind of the abilities, you cannot do, and you are very much narrow mind. You have very much kind of the stinginess. You have very much jealousies. And in this perspective, maybe someone's possible to criticize, but not necessarily. Whatever holiness do, this is fantastic, and also is he can to contact to the world widely. Of course, generally, when you receive the empowerment, of course, you need to keep the samayas. Maybe it's like someone's will break the samayas, and someone's criticized to the holiness. Maybe someone's don't like to the holiness. But if you then through the internet, someone's watching, someone's listened, this person's to receive, and maybe yes. It's like in the Shantadeva said this, Bodhisattvas, whoever connected, positive connection or the negative connections, can receive the self-liberation. Maybe holiness is unbiasedly, whoever listened, whoever watched, okay, I can offer it. It's a wonderful Bodhisattva's activities. It's he can, any kind of the lamas, any kind of to imitating the holiness, maybe I'm not sure that one, but holiness, this is wonderful. You should to watch, you should to listen, everybody's to attend. You know, this empowerment is very happy. I'm going to watch. I will receive 100%. I'm very happy because it's like also it's these days, holiness now has become old. Maybe one day we are like kind of the decadent times. When we are lost to him, then we can to appreciate what is his qualities. And particularly in the Tibetan societies. Sometimes we are not very much appreciate what he done in our societies. Incredible he done. And also it's like specifically for the Tibetan culture, Tibetan people, Tibetans. But not only that, he's done so good things for the Buddha's teaching, Buddha's activities. In this world widely, who is the really representative of the Buddha? Even the Buddha, he's alive. He cannot to express his teachings like same as the holiness. Look, the holiness, seriously he talking. He's like kind of the same as follow the Buddha himself. His teaching is sharing for the modern people, not kind of the secular people, science, any kind of other religious, and wonderful activities. This is like kind of the living Buddha. Whenever we can to possible to hear the holiness teaching, whenever we can to see through the television or direct, that's a great opportunities, wonderful. We need to run, we do them. I'm not sure one day we can to forever to keep this one 100%. For other, it's like kind of the follower, but once we lost, then we can to understand what he did, particularly in the Tibetan communities. But presently, even the sometimes Tibetan people say, holiness, but it doesn't matter. And this very good. I'm going to attend holiness teaching.
Thank you. Elena Zerkina says, Rinpoche Lama, how do ordinary people, not Buddhists, accumulate merit if they do not embrace their positive actions with the three? Sorry, I will read the question again from Elena Zurkina. Rinpoche Lama, how do ordinary people, not Buddhists, accumulate merit if they do not embrace their positive actions with the three excellent ones? Maybe they give birth to bodhicitta in the beginning naturally, but I doubt that they are free from concepts in the middle and that they devote merit at the end. Despite this, some non-Buddhists look kinder and happier than other Buddhists.
You are right. I don't know you are a Buddhist or not Buddhist. I'm sorry to say. But someone is pretending to follow up the Buddhists. They are not really serious practice. Sometimes in our Westerns to have this kind of the sarcastic. All the Buddhist people is the kind of the mad, happy, and crazy people. Psychologically problems, they enter to the Buddhist paths. And in this perspective, it's a true someone's like kind of the follow up the Buddha's path, but they are very aggressive, very jealousy. They are very much kind of the ordinary. Maybe it's worse than the non-Buddhists. Of course, someone is like non-Buddhist people. Maybe it's not necessarily Buddhist. Someone is very compassionate, very kind, happy lives. It's wonderful. They have such a kind of the. Surely it's a positive. Surely. That's all. Okay. Yeah, I think today is like a lot of kind of the informations and wonderful things. And thank you very much. That's all. Hyoncho Sancho Rinpoche Mashi Panang Shejerji Shipa Nyamba Mepa Ton Koni Konda Perasho Senchene Perchenye Pa Nyadanele Tajarji Drobane Namale Pa Tadanjwa Me Persho Menam Tadon Demba Don Songa de Jund Paton Kandro Sambo La So Pa Niji Sandon Danger Ji Song Dong Lao Soma Xian Lap Je Penze La Ye Ta Xi Ni Jer Te Dele Samba Ye Yan De Par Ton Tserine Me De Xir Dember Sho Kung Ri Rar Vi Kor Vi Xin Kam Se Pen Dong Dewa Ma Lu Jong Wen Xian Ren Zi Wang Ten Zhen Jian Su Ye Xia Pe Sen Ti Par Da Ten Jir Ji